struggled to play from behind. I mean, that's obvious. The Chiefs' defense has been absolutely terrible up until last week, when they just mutilated the Denver Broncos in Denver. Which I know it's the Denver Broncos, but playing in Denver as a Chiefs fan, watching the Denver Broncos play the Chiefs for years and years, playing in Denver, no matter how bad they are or how good they are, is never easy.
Mile High is a tough place to
No,
play.
it's never been easy, and it never will be easy. I don't care how bad their offense is. And one thing that really impressed me last week was, the Denver Broncos have a great running game, and we basically completely took that out of the game plan, which was really nice to see because the Chiefs have struggled against the run for 3 years now. And
I love how it's not weeks. You said years.
Yeah, no, years. Yeah, 3 years now. It's horrible.
Chris Jones in last year? Really?
Chris Jones he's a good pass rusher, but he's not a fantastic run stuffer.
Wow, I thought he would have been.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay against the run. He makes some plays here and there, but he's not one of those game wreckers on the inside in the run game. He's basically a run stuffing defense, a pass rushing defensive tackle. That's his gig. So.
Would you rather have Xavier Williams back? Because I know he went.
No, God, no. No, Xavier Williams is terrible. No, he's horrible. He's the worst. He was pretty good. He was actually pretty good last year, and I was excited about him because he's from the Kansas City area, and I was excited to have him in Kansas City.
Screamed at me, no, God, no.
No, he was horrible this year, man. And honestly, like, it's bad to say, but like, I sat there and I was like, we are probably better off without Xavier Williams because we just drafted a guy in Colin Saunders, who's an FCS guy.
Yes, I had my eye on him in the draft too.
Yeah, and he's a back flipping 320 pounder. Sit there and do standing back.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. 300 pounds can do a circle in the midair.
Seriously, and so I think he had a little bit of developing to do. He struggled in his first couple weeks as a Chief. He was actually inactive to start the year. And then he came in and he really struggled in the pass game or the run game whenever Xavier Williams got hurt. And then last week, man, he looked like a game wrecker. So who knows? It's just going to be a matter of what Chiefs defense shows up, and if Matt Moore doesn't get too far behind, then I think he has a chance. But it's going to be a tough game. But you know how it is going into Lambeau. Lambeau's a tough place to play. Arrowhead's a tough place to play.
Oh yeah. That's one of the
top
5 stadiums. Yeah.
Yeah, it's prime time. So, I mean, you never know. Any given Sunday, man, who knows? Matt Moore against Aaron Rodgers, game of the year.
Are you calling it a game of the year with Matt Moore and Aaron Rodgers? Ooh,
it was
ballsy.
It was supposed to be game of the year with Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers.
I know. I wanted it. I know Jay wanted it because you want to beat your team at their best,
Oh, yeah. And we had a lot of buddies buy tickets and stuff for that game, and they're not cheap. They're like $300 a piece for the cheapest ones right now. Oh, they were not now. They're selling on the cheap now. But so yeah, people are kicking themselves in the ass for that one.
Now, what if it gets announced Sunday that Mahomes is playing? How fast do you think people start trying to buy back?
Tickets over?
Yeah.
Whew, I don't know, man. Those people that bought the tickets for $80 are going to be happy though. They're going to sit there with Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers matchups.
Yeah, but if they sell them for $400 and flip them for $300-$400, I mean, why not? I mean, go home, grab your case of beer, done.
I don't know. You can't really put a price tag on that though.
I know.
I can at least. I would never be able to do it. I know some people are like, oh my God, I can pocket $600 here if I have 2 tickets, but I couldn't do it personally.
Watch it be like the best passing game of all time, NFL history. Yeah.
Yeah, 900.
We saw that last year with the Rams and the Chiefs. So.
Yeah.
But all right, mentioning injuries a little bit ago, I got to jump to this. On the injury report, there's a bunch of defensive players that you just named that did not practice for second day in a row. Do you think the Kansas City secondary can keep up with these new weapons that Green Bay is starting to find these last 2 weeks, like Alan Lazard, Kumaro, MVS? I mean, they're starting to emerge now over and over again with Adams possibly not being out again. So,
yeah, the Chiefs have matched up well with wide receivers all year long. DeAndre Hopkins didn't really do anything against us. Will Fuller, he dropped like 2 or 3 passes that should have been touchdowns. So that's kind of a concern there. But, Steve Spagnuolo is stuck with nickel stuck with nickel and dime defenses formations here through the first 6 weeks. And that's why the Chiefs really struggle to stop the run. Part of the reason, second reason, is because their linebackers are absolutely egregious. But so it's really just going to be a matter of, can Steve Spagnuolo bring the right personnel out there to match up with the Packers? I mean, is Devontae Adams supposed to play? Is that?
It's looking like he's probably not. He went to do walkthroughs. He did like light practice, and then went in and did rehab. But it looks like he even said he feels 2 million times better. But it's the fact of what the doctors want him to do.
And I mean, turf toe is a tough thing. I mean, you don't want to jack with that. That's like a hamstring. That's like a hamstring. If you step wrong any way at all, you're gonna re-aggravate it and you're out for another 2 or 3 weeks. So,
of course.
I don't know. MVS and Geronimo Allison and Alan Lazard, Jake Kumaro. Those are guys
names that jump out. I know.
No, they're not names that jump out, and I don't want this to sound bad. It's probably the worst group of wide receivers that the Chiefs have faced all year, but they have Aaron Rodgers throwing to him. So, it's just one of those things. Like with the Chiefs, we sat there and we dealt with Demarcus Robinson and McCole Hardman as our best wide receivers for a couple weeks there, and Patrick Mahomes was just fine, and Aaron Rodgers is the exact same way. So those guys are going to go out there and they can, any of those guys can go off for 150 yards at any given moment. Like I said, it's just a matter of matching up with them and get defensive backs giving it their best. So it's going to be tough, especially with Fuller. Fuller not in there. He's our slot guy, and he struggled through the first few weeks of the season. He really started to come on, but I think the Chiefs can match up with him. My big concern is Aaron Jones.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. Right next, you nailed it.
That's the big thing, because if the Chiefs sell out to try to stop Aaron Rodgers from throwing the football, Aaron Jones is going to run for 200 yards on us. That's just what's going to happen. Especially if last week, we stopped Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman really well. We held him to like 3 yards per carry.
Yeah.
But it was Joe Flacco. It's not Aaron Rodgers. So we can sacrifice stopping the pass a little bit to go out and shut down the run. It's Steve, like I said, Steve Spagnuolo is just going to have to go out there. He's going to have to find the right balance to stop those guys, and it's going to be a tough game, especially since we don't have a quarterback that can play from behind.
Yeah, and you brought him up, Aaron Jones. He's tied for most touchdowns in the league right now with Christian McCaffrey. He's doing it receiving and rushing. So, what do you view him as more a threat, a receiving back or a rushing back?
Oh, running back. He will run up the middle all game long. You saw Carlos Hyde do it. Kerryon Johnson do it. Kerryon Johnson hadn't done anything all year long.
Yeah,
he just got hurt, but he hadn't done anything all year long. He was supposed to be a breakout player. Came in, rushed for 130 yards on us, and I think that was more than he'd rushed for all year long combined.
Next week against us, so he only had like 52 yards, I think.
Yeah. It was terrible. And he just ran all over us, and that was a game. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes can play from behind. He led a game-winning drive, and that's that. And I don't want to have to rely on Matt Moore, to pull that out. So, especially
you're going to be pulling your beard out if that happens.
Yeah, probably. I probably will, honestly. But I don't know. It's just we can't let Aaron Jones control the clock the way that running backs have controlled the clock against us. It's going to be a tough game for us if we allow that to happen.
Well, now there's not just Aaron Jones. There's also Jamal Williams that's gotten healthy again, and he just had a 100-yard day against the Lions. He I know it's not saying much. It's the Lions. I got it. But, still, it's just you have two backs now that I guess that could split out why they're good. They have good hands for running backs. I know Aaron Jones dropped that one pass 2 weeks ago that hit him smack right dab in the numbers and right in the hands, and he dropped it. But any other times usually catching that. So it's just, that was my biggest thing is our running backs are our wide receiver too, basically. And then the tight ends, this past 3 weeks, man, I don't know what it is. It's like Jimmy Graham. is someone else is playing in his jersey, because the first 4 weeks, it's like we've watched the Jimmy Graham from last year. He's been and then the last 3 weeks, he's been run blocking, he's been pass blocking, and not just like blocking, he's been pancaking guys. And I'm like, what? Who is this guy? And then he went 4 for 4 last week for a 65 and a touchdown. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
Time to pay the bills, boys. So hold on just a second, and we'll get right back to your conversation.
Break time.
Pay the bills. Yes, we do.
Sorry about that, Grant.
It's all right.
Don't worry about it, man. I was trying to get Dave to trying to give him some signs on the thing, but he's not picking up what I'm.
I thought you were going to talk because you went ahead and just put your finger up.
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to get you to shut up. That was my.
That never happens. My wife's been working on that for 8 years now.
Okay, well.
What is this? Why is Washington so bad?
All right, well, if you haven't had enough of our chatter so far, after you're done listening to this show, you want to visit NFL Addictions on Facebook.com and get all of your Facebook chatter in there. It is not a trash talk site, so keep it clean and keep it cordial. That's NFL Addictions on Facebook.com. And if you still got an itch to scratch when you're done with that, you want to go to Raz Addictions on Facebook.com and play their version of the raffle for all kinds of cool prizes. You can play even raffles for cash. You buy a $10 ticket for a chance to win $100. That's a chance at winning 10 times your money, folks. You don't want to get any better than that. Tell them all the other prizes you can win, Dave.
Well, I've got some Lombardi memorabilia that I've won. I've got some helmets over there in the corner of the man cave. Everything from Paul Hornung, Jerry Kramer, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. I've got the memorabilia rings for all the 60s players. I mean, I've won a ton, folks. Even the tailgating set for $400, I won for $40. I mean, it's worth $400. So it's definitely, go check them out. Lots of stuff to win.
That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com. Go there for your chance to play and win. All right. Back to the show. Go ahead, guys. Thanks for your cooperation.
Ooh, yay. All right. So we were focusing on those running backs and the tight ends for Green Bay, Grant. I mean, I'm not saying Jimmy Graham is going to be New Orleans old of Jimmy Graham, but I saw a little bit of Jimmy Graham of when he played in Seattle, when he got traded there and was still able to evade people. I'm not counting he's going to do it week in, week out, but it's 3 weeks we've seen him. It's like he mentally bought in finally in LaFleur's offense. And it's just a breath of fresh air because McCarthy has literally drowned tight ends in his system before he got let go for years. I mean, Mercedes Lewis got brought in a 2-year deal last year, and he even said I had 4 catches. I had 6 targets and 4 catches last year in the whole year, and he's already, I think, times 6 that. I think he has 24 targets and 16 receptions already, and it's really good to see LaFleur putting these tight ends in effect. Have you guys had problems with tight ends?
Yeah, I mean, we had Deron Lee in there starting at will linebacker. That was a guy we traded a 6th-round pick for from the Jets in the offseason. And, he had a decent year last year, but teams don't just trade first top 20 picks
for
6th-rounders if they're good football players. In short, he's allowed 16 receptions on 16 targets headed his way. He kind of got benched last week. He played 6 snaps. And, we stepped up against tight ends last week. Noah Fant, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
But he's a pretty good athlete, and we kind of shut him down. So that was something that was really nice to see. Jimmy Graham, obviously he's a freak athlete. He's 6'7". That's a guy that's always going to be tough to cover. It's really just going to matter how the Chiefs go out there and match up against the tight ends. Are they going to put Tyrann Mathieu, who's been fantastic for us this year? Are they going to put him on a tight end? Are they going to stick him in the back and, in nickel and dime defense? I don't know yet. That's, obviously something that we won't know until we go out there and see the game. But, if they're going to stick a linebacker like Damian Wilson or Deron Lee out there on Jimmy Graham, they're probably going to struggle. They haven't given up a ton of yards, but it seems like they give up every